What's going on YouTube? Another knife review here for you. Today we're going to be looking at the Benchmade 790 Subrosa. This is a collaboration between Matthew Lerch. There you see his signature right there on the blade. This is a first production knife, 280 out of 1,000. Means nothing. Yeah, so collaboration between Benchmade and Matthew Lerch. So, this is a really cool offering, to be honest. I tried this one out a long time ago at a local store, and wasn't all that impressed by it. But this one came up in an offering. I got this at just a crazy deal, and so I couldn't resist getting it. I kind of wanted to try my hand back with with a nitrous assist. I've had two different nitrous assist knives from Benchmade. One is the 890 Torrent, the Steigerwalt collaboration, and then the nitrous striker Tonto. I think, or maybe that's a mini striker. And honestly, it really left a lot to be desired. Both of those knives, the pivots were all loose and kept getting loose after I tightened them. And I've learned quite a bit since then. And yeah, so I've Loctited this one down now, so there's no real issues with this one. I've been flicking this one out quite a bit, and it's really tight and flicks out perfectly. Blade centering on this knife is great. No issues there. Fires out like I said, and lockup is, well, so this is interesting too. This is kind of like the Benchmade 755. You can see that little, I don't know what you would call that, almost like a little shelf, on the titanium lock. So it can't over travel this way, which is kind of weird. So I don't understand why they would want it to prevent, travel this way. But I think, mainly this one and the 755 MPR, they have this on the frame lock. This doesn't exist on the 760 LFTI frame lock. But for this one, it works in conjunction with the stop pin down there. I'm sorry, over here. So this screw works with the stop pin over here, which is a hexagonal, I think it's hexagonal, not octagonal, stop pin. So you can turn it, you can twist it to adjust your lock bar travel, or how far this blade engages. So you can adjust that lockup, which is, in my opinion, I think is a pretty cool feature. So you don't have to carbonize it, or you can kind of just work it to your own liking. I have tweaked this knife. When I got it, there was massive side-to-side play, but I cleaned it all out, lubed it up, tightened the lock bar, and I carbonized it, and I'll talk about that in a second. And then I adjusted the hexagonal pin, and now the lockup is perfect. There's no side, like, this is rock solid. No side to side, no up and down travel whatsoever on this blade. So this is super solid, no issues. The thing I was talking about for the carbonizing, I carbonized this lock, and it was weird. It got so sticky. Like, it was like so hard to actuate the lock, and I basically just did it over and over and over and over, and finally the carbonization kind of just wore off a little bit, smoothed out in the area where it engages the lock, and so now it's back smooth and no issues. But when I look at the lock bar, it seems like some of that carbonization had kind of worn off, because I don't know, it was so tight. So you can see kind of in there. See, that's the lock bar right there, and so you can see how that imprint on the lock bar has kind of worn in there. So to me, it looks like the carbonization has worn off. So, but at the same time, the blade tang, which is down low, if I can I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Probably not. Yeah, but kind of in there, you can kind of see there's really no wear on the tang. So anyway, for those of you who aren't familiar with how nitrous assist works, so basically you have these two torsion bars, if you can see it in there. So two titanium torsion bars. So let me close the knife. You have this pin right here that's connected by two torsion bars that run down all the way here and are secured by these two or four screws, if you will. So it's secured under these two pillar standoffs. And then that torsion bar, titanium, has a very high tension and memory retention as well. And so as this blade is released, that you'll see how this violently just kicks down like that. Okay, so when I push it up, see how that pin drops down. So that titanium wants to move down this way. It wants to shoot down this way. And so it pushes against the tang of the blade, and then that pressure kicks it out throughout the pivot as it's rotating through the pivot. So even with this blade, it has pretty high tension on the pivot, and because I've Loctited it, I don't want to loosen it right now, but even with this much tension on here, the titanium is strong enough to kick it out with quite a bit of authority. So you can see how fast this kicks out. And that's kind of nice. I think it works better than Speed Safe. The mechanism I think is better in Speed Safe. And to me it's better than having, you know, the spring of the Axis Assist, you know, in say like the Barrage series and whatnot. So yeah, I kind of like the system. I did, you know, my collection vid, I took out the torsion bars, but yeah, I kind of missed it, so I decided to put it back in just for the sake of, yeah, just having it as an option, you know, amidst all the other knives that I have. It's got this pretty cool, you know, mill pattern, you know, with these dimples on the scales, which is kind of cool. Gives a little added feature within this kind of curved, milled out pattern here. So it kind of gives a little decorative take on this knife, which I kind of appreciate. Makes it a little bit different. Pocket clip is just absolutely butt ugly. I hate this pocket clip to no end. I think it's just stupid. I've said this so many times, you know, for Benchmade. Like, it's so dumb why they can't just do a tip-up carry knife. I mean, this, just any normal pocket clip going this way, you know, with the 3 screws pocket clip would have worked perfect on this knife, and they have to just screw it up with tip down carry, and then this just weird curve thing. The curve does work as a lock bar over travel thing, but you know, they could have done something else that would have been so much better. Yeah, I go on a beef about this every time I do a Benchmade review, especially with the frame lock. So, you know, Bradley alias right here is produced by Benchmade, but because it's Bradley design, they do tip up carry, you know. And I mean, they have, I thought they had 4-way directional, but at least, you know, right hand, left, or right hand tip up, tip down, it has that option. So obviously they can do it, you know, it's just a matter of design. So I don't know why they wouldn't just offer that option over here. You know, maybe they didn't want to cover it, but this still covers the design. So overall, just stupid, you know, for Benchmade to, I don't know, but they're stuck on that whole thing. Size comparison, Alias 1, Dauntless from Tad. Got the Subrosa, very similar measurements. You know, this is a 3.75-inch blade. It's S30V, and it is 0.125 inches. So same blade stock as, say, Emerson, as the Subrosa. Actually, a little bit thicker than the Bradley. At, you know, I think the Bradley is 0.125 inches or 120 inches. Dauntless is, you know, thicker blade stock, and then this Tim Britton Custom Tango just got a much thicker blade stock for sure. So overall, it's also got this recurve, a slight recurve on the blade, which is totally fine. I'm totally fine with recurves now. I used to hate recurves, but so long as it's not too pronounced. I think even like a zero tolerance, 0.350, that recurve is totally fine for me. There's some knives with just some whacked out, recurve jobs that I think would be kind of hard for a wicked edge to sharpen, but so far, all the recurves that I've had, I haven't had really any issues with sharpening those knives. So, also, the very thin profile. I already have, but I put the pocket clip back on for the sake of the review. But more likely than not, I'll probably end up taking the pocket clip off again, and this just drops straight into your pocket, and it's so thin. The profile is so thin. The nitrous lock is so strong that it's probably not going to have any issues in terms of popping out. It could, but most likely it's not going to. I guess the one option that I have with the tip down carry would be to put this in my back pocket. So if this is the back pocket, then I'm sorry, how is this gonna work? So if my butt is facing out this way, when I have it sitting in my pocket, so this being the right side of my pocket, in the back pocket you could sit like this, so then the blade would hug over to the side of the pocket. So that's definitely one option of right hand tip down carry. I don't want to carry it in my pocket like this, with the blade hanging out from the side. So anyway, just some random thoughts. Overall, I think that this is a really great knife. It's got this faux jimping, I guess. It's side jimping. Really doesn't do anything, really ineffective, so it's all ornamental for sure. Oh, one other thing that I didn't mention is the design of this knife too is really interesting here. I don't think it's bad, but it does have this little the lock bar sits out high, so it's not symmetrical, and two, I mean, you kind of see how it hangs from outside the blade right there. So that's kind of just an interesting feature of why they had to make the frame lock, be pronounced like this. I would rather just have somewhat of a cutout, more of a cutout on this side, so that you can access the lock bar. But because you see how it's engaged, the lock bar is, let's see how you're gonna see this. Sits a lot higher than the blade tang. So that's also just a very interesting feature. I don't know if that's from Lerch or from Benchmade. So anyway, so that's just general thoughts about the Benchmade Subrosa. Really just in hand, it's comfortable. It's really comfortable, very ergonomic, very thin profile knife. So as a EDC option, even as a gentleman's folder, because it's so thin, I think it could work and excel in that role for sure. So, alright guys, anyway, that's a quick overview of the Benchmade 790 Subrosa, collaboration with Matthew Lerch. Check it out, it's a pretty cool knife, I think, outside of the tip down carry option. So, alright, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thanks guys for watching the videos, and hope you have a good one. You guys take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.